This is a child. Not many people like children, and I will say they're not great food. Hot take, I know. Nominalized cannibalism of children does not sustain a country, believe it or not. No matter the size, it doesn't work efficiently enough when considering Jonathan Swift's a modest proposal to the, government of Ireland. No, it's not that bad. The problem is he just doesn't expand enough on the entirety of the child. See, what he does in his modest proposal, right, is he only uses the skin, because there's lots of it, and the meat, just the general meat of the child. And while that's fine and dandy as it can be, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not ambitious enough. Not only that, but he only uses 1/8 of the population to breed. And it's mostly couples. These people are already in love. Now, sure, that might seem fine on the surface, but that's such a huge waste of resources. 1/8 of the population? What I mean to say when critiquing Jonathan Swift's modest proposal is that we need to use more than just 1/8 of the population and more than just the flesh and the skin of the child. Now, how would we go about doing that? Great question, I'm sure you asked that. To go off of that first point, he doesn't use enough of the population. In his modest proposal, he describes as 1.5 million being the total population, right, of Ireland. We're talking about Ireland, the Irish. Sorry if that's offensive. 200,000 breeder couples. Keep in mind, those are the couples that are already married. And only 30,000 to care for the children. Now, he does try to make up for that with the fact that 120,000 children are born annually to poor parents. However, that doesn't make up for the fact that we could be doing infinitely more with these numbers. Infinitely more! We could be doing infinitely more with these numbers. We could produce so many more children. And you want to know how? I'll tell you how. Listen, humans are very feeble creatures. 1.5 million is already a lot more than the human mind can comprehend. So, instead of using 30,000 to care for children, why don't we make that bigger? 100,000 to care for the children. And, it would be 50,000, 50-50, 50,000 men and 50,000 women, of course. And, I didn't think about those in between. How about we just have 15,000 for those? Does that sound good? Tell me if that sounds good. I'm not entirely sure. Now, I know that's fine and dandy, but wait! I hear you. That's definitely not me asking me a question instead of you asking me a question. What about the children? What about the children? Oh, what about the children? I'll tell you what about the children! We do more than what Swift wants! The way Swift sees it, he should use the skin for fine hats for gentlemen and beautiful boots for the women. And, she could make some good bacon for the meat as well. But no, he's not thinking big enough. What of the child's brain? In culinary dishes, perhaps. Or the rear, the stomach, and the ribs. What are we going to do with all that? Are we just going to throw that away? And again, just like I mentioned with the ribs, it doesn't have to be all edible. What of the child's skull? There's so much you could do with the skull. See, for example, not just the skull, but what about the little bones that it has? Those teeny bones that haven't even fully grown yet. You could sharpen those into toothpicks and use them to get the teeth, Like the teeth that I definitely have. Oh no, mine still. And then again, let's come back to the skull. We could use that in modern architecture. Imagine all the other little children that could be inspired by the skulls of the dead peers. Wouldn't that just be something else? And let's not forget our good friends, the organs. For example, intestines for a straw. Wowza. And then liver, bladder, all of that junk. Maybe we could use those for instruments. Do you see what I'm saying here, though? Oh, and please consider the fact that we could use Babyface as masks. I like the skin. I just wish he elaborated a little more on that. body horror, am I right? But you get what I mean, right? His ambition falls so flat. And it's really quite sad that it does. In conclusion, Swift's ambition falls very short of what could be accomplished. There's so much that can be done with the human body, and one just needs to use their imagination, of which Jonathan was unfortunately not able to do. And, of course, this is all just to get Ireland more food in the past, because that makes so much sense, doesn't it? But, yeah, that's all I have. Stay in the studio. Oh, you're staying after? I don't know why I was putting an accent on. I'm so sorry about the inconsistent posting. I'll try to get better about it. I'm hoping this can be really fun. I think this would be cool. I just doodling on a whiteboard and talking about random junk. This was actually an essay that I wrote about Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal, an actual essay. You can read it. Just because I loved how morbid that I could get with it. I don't know. I like body horror more than I should, I think. Might be wondering why this getup. I don't know. I just like boxes. I want to make more boxes. Eventually I'll get the supplies to make them. Yeah. Thank you for staying in the studio if you have, and please consider subscribing. I'm trying to make more stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to make more stuff like this. Kind of like a blend of, me, and then this guy. Have some 2D and 3D. I love media mixing. I think it's fun. I don't know how much of this is making it into the end credits, but yeah, that's all I've got. Side note, I have no idea why I'm doing this. Makes me seem more sophisticated than I am, I guess. Anyways.